Like how
It was
evil,
awful.
how evil.
I was on the street.
I was changing my kids' diapers when I saw the second plane coming in. I'm like, whoa, bro.
You didn't see anything.
Wow.
You saw CGI.
Well, now that everything is coming to light with this whole AI, I'm like, dude, this AI has been going on for years before. They were using it, now we're using it, but they were using it before, and all these images that we thought were real were just fake. Right? I mean, a lot of this.
Everything was fake. And look at this. So
Is Obama
1800s. His wife is a man.
real? Is Obama real?
His wife is a man.
Oh my lord!
You don't know that?
I've heard
All right,
that.
all right.
I've heard that for
All
years.
right. Okay, I think this is a good place to start. This is what I believe. It's my opinion. I have an opinion. And evidently, the mother of the first lady died, and I believe it was during the pandemic, during COVID. And evidently, in the state of Illinois, to reclaim the inheritance, you must provide your birth certificate as it coincides with the name on the will.
Okay.
And evidently, okay, I get it. This could all be made up. Like, I understand. I'm just reporting information that I believe right now.
Right.
That the person's name was Michael Levaughn Robinson. And if you'd like to, you can look it up on your computer right now and put it in Google Images. Okay, and yeah, those images could be Photoshopped too. But that person had to present that paper, and evidently that was what was presented.
What was it called?
Michael Levaughn Robinson. And Levaughn is V-A-U-G-H-N, I think. Images. No. Go back up. Levaugghn. Stop. Robinson. Try that. Oh, they've already changed it. Wow, they've changed it. About 2 weeks ago, you had the pictures. Keep going. Here we go. Keep going. So anyway, whatever you want to believe.
We're gonna basically
whatever you want to
try to
believe.
see what we're seeing here on the computer.
So it's
So
not
we just
okay. Oh,
typed
there we
in
go. Go down.
Michael
You can see.
Levaughn Robinson, and the first thing you gave was Michelle Obama.
Oh, right.
That's weird.
Oh, excellent. Yes. I thought it was
wild.
good. Exactly. Very good. Yeah.
That's a wild one.
And I was
there.
thinking, yeah, okay, so very good.
But There's
Okay.
only pictures of Michelle, and I
Okay.
really-
Okay.
I mean, let's do it again.
That's
Just-
brave.
just-
Go on to another search
Let's,
engine.
let's do another search engine.
We can do it on-
Let's
on my-
go Safari. Let's go to Safari for a second.
I was thinking we had put in Michelle Obama, and I was like, oh, it's not going to show you. Like, I was confused. But
Okay, so here we go. So we're gonna do Control V, which was Michael Levaughn Robinson, and let's see what we got. Images.
it was right there, the American presidency, and it showed him.
Holy
And if you go back-
smokes.
Okay, look at this picture. This is when they were boyfriends.
What? That could be a woman.
So,
right?
you guys, how cool. Live, we have someone who did not know about this information. I don't know
Yeah, I'm
if it's
just
true. I don't
literally-
know if it's true.
I mean, this is like.
I don't know, Mr. YouTube, if it's true.
I did hear it. The only first time I heard it was
Let me just put this in here.
when I was watching a lot of the conspiracy theories, but was Joan River
Yes.
I
Oh,
believe
yeah.
she was the first one that,
She was. She was the one.
exposed it, which was the first time I even heard it, which was what, maybe 2 years ago. I heard it. It was one of those things where it was like, I don't know, 15 minutes of like I was into it, and then I went to go do something else and never
Crazy,
really
huh?
talked about it again.
All right, people.
But I didn't believe it. I was like, well, Joan Rivers.
And I will put his
rocked
channel
out.
here
She's
so you
out
can
of
watch.
her mind. Oh yeah, Topic Tango. You guys go to Topic Tango, and we'll see you guys there too.
Okay.
And, you know,
Yeah, come in.
and keep
Paul has some really
exposing a lot of truth and a lot of
Revealing.
questions and revealing. Yeah.
So, yeah,
this
so
is the
that's-
year of revealing. 2024. Did you know that?
Excuse me? Yes, I've heard that.
The year of where the
Mask is coming off.
Wow,
So check it out.
That's crazy.
Okay, you can show the screen to my people if you want.
Yeah, let me see. Let me show you.
If you can. But no, if I can. No. Anyway,
Okay.
look, I put it in the chat. You put those 3 words in any of your search engines and feel free to report what you see. Hey, it's probably misinformation. It's probably misinformation, but isn't it fun to talk about and see its coherence across the internet wherever you are? We are not in the United States right now, and it came up here. That's interesting, isn't it?
Like I'm gonna well, yeah,
but it's cool.
Really is interesting.
Okay, so what else?
Hold on.
Oh, let's put the song on, and that'll bring up. This song is called "I Told You So."
All right, I'm just gonna put it. I don't know if you guys are gonna be able to read it, but so you guys can look it up yourselves right now.
Very nice, and I put it in the chat.
It's right there,
Cool.
Michael. You can
And here, I put it here, so there it's already there.
type it in whatever browser you want, Firefox, whatever, Chrome, and literally, I mean, you're typing in a man's name, okay? And we'll see what you get. I'm not gonna say it. You just do it for yourself, because I just did it.
Yeah, and I was totally talking to myself,
and
going,
I
"Oh, it
think
didn't
this is the
come
first
up."
time I even heard this name, Michael. So
This is real, people.
that's
You know,
crazy.
you know my thing. I don't
So-
lie.
So
Right,
the next
so this is
question
real.
is, how do they get 2
Next,
daughters? How do
next,
these 2 daughters pop out?
because they didn't come out. They are the,
There's
so.
no way that
Once you guys get into this, you can read about this probably
So
more
the 2
misinformation
daughters were
that say
adopted?
that their private pediatrician and doctor, this couple that look exactly like those 2 daughters, they were their daughters. Okay.
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 Alright, so
okay.
that
Yeah,
answers your
that
question.
it's like her, you know.
That
It's
is
something like that.
Alright, so and what's going on with Oprah? A lot of rumors, no?
Well, I don't know about
is she-
rumors.
is
That
she a
woman's
good
fucking
person or
evil. You
not,
guys,
or she have-
can we talk
she helping
about
kids in Africa or
Hawaii?
what?
Oh,
Oh man, and
Hawaii
Hawaii, yeah, I've
thing.
heard so many things that like they're coming in to build, or they're just coming in to buy land, and all these people were in on it with the fires.
there was no fire, Paul.
Well, there was never a fire. But
It was
wow.
Was
it people
something
die?
like directed energy weapon, like 11 de septiembre.
Did people die?
There's 1,000 children missing, supposedly.
Okay.
To
Now
this
it's
day.
back to the children.
And there was been nobody reporting it on the mainstream news. If you go on to X or whatever, Twitter, there are some people talking about it, but you guys, it's freaking crazy that no one is talking about what happened there. And the only thing that survived, from what I understand, please correct me, everyone, is the blue roofs. Do you know about this?
Blue roofs.
This blue, like this blue here on my screen, that color blue.
Yeah.
Okay, so evidently there was this, what they call a big fire, right?
Right.
But that fire like destroyed vehicles that were metal and wiped out entire houses and flattened this whole like neighborhood, okay? Except the house that had a blue roof and the trash bins that were in that color blue.
What?
And so when I was flying into Bogota, I noticed that the area where the flowers are and stuff, when you're coming in from the west, there's now some new blue roofs there. I don't know, probably coincidence, right? Maybe it's just a trend among that club to use the blue. But anyway, yeah, so Oprah is definitely nasty. And I knew she was bad because I was in my 20s and 30s in New York, and she was like pushing the whole, lesbo movement, in the sense that she wasn't about like getting married and having kids. It was very much about things, right? Also, but they mix it in with her like witchiness. But there was the abuse, and we got to focus on the abuse in her childhood and focus on these negative things. And And then anyway, I did not see her as a friend to my development as a woman and what she taught. I mean, and I had her magazine for a while. Like now I'm looking back, but I liked her for a while, but
was she real from the beginning and then she got different and then they turned into like this crazy
I do not know. What do you think?
The way I see it, the way I'm starting to see it, maybe I'm gonna see it like in like a few months differently because everything's changing all the time. But it seems like all these people that got into the business, especially like in TV, because I mean I love music and I'm music, so I work in that industry.
Yeah.
And I see people who are real artists, people who are real, interviewers, people who are real like newscasters, and they love their job. They get it. They become famous, like Oprah. She was like a host, and but it seems like all these people that are so powerful right now, that are famous through the media, that they're different now than from when they started. They initially started. Like
right.
I remember like Oprah to me, or people like that back in the day, they meant something, and they talk like they meant something. They were like I come from nothing and here I am and like I'm rising to the top. But then like now I don't even know what happened in the last 20 years or the last 15 years, that it seems like that the more powerful they get weird. And all of a sudden now you start seeing like, wait, they were doing this and they were doing that and like killing people, or like people got killed and they were part of it. Or kids or child.
So think about
how do you get to that point?
Okay, well,
do they turn bad, or do they get like
or
possessed by something and now they're just shitty people?
Or
I don't know.
Are they covering up? Or are they
do
doing whatever they have to?
Yes,
they have to do whatever so that XYZ video or picture doesn't come out that they were doing something bad.
Right.
I think that's the most simplest way to put it. I think it's
my question is like, when do they turn bad?
Well, I'll tell you when. They get the first paycheck and their boss goes, "You like that money? You like that fame? Great. Now we need you to sing about eating chemicals and saying that they're good for children." Oh, but I really wanted to do my art. Okay, well then bye.
Do you remember Oprah?
I mean, they just.
Do you remember Oprah doing like the?
It's television programming. They are programming.
You can't eat meat.
Yeah.
Remember that? And all these meat companies
but this is all
sued her.
Because this is all the theater. This is television programming, radio programming. They tell air conditioning. They're conditioning the air. They're programming us with the radio.
But I mean, that was a sort of a cool topic when she talked about the meat.
What do you mean a cool topic?
Well, it was like important. It was like more activist. Now she doesn't talk about things like that, because now she's like, you can't say this and you can't say that. And make sure if you say this, like not like before. We're like,
but it's because
I feel that she would say like things that you like, even things that we're talking about, like there's the chlorine in the water, or there's stuff, and she would talk about it, and people wouldn't hush her.
No, like, because she was the person.
Now you can't talk about
no, because she was part of it. This is all theater. It's all theater. All the world's a stage. It's all theater. It's all theater. Everything's theater. So she was the actor in the play that leads us along, kind of questioning the government and kind of questioning this and kind of questioning that. She's that role.
Yeah.
And then leading people on. And then Ellen came along and the other lesbian came along, Rosie O'Donnell. Like they pick these people for us to start idolizing or looking at as leaders, and we go, well, she's a little overweight. I can put on some pounds. I mean, she's famous and she seems really smart. She seems like she's healthy. It's okay if I do that, or I put on this makeup, or I put on all this crap on my temple, in my body, and I don't look at the ingredients. And that's what I've done my whole life, and I'm still in it. But that's what I'm trying to do, is just get better each day with one or two little things, and just not trusting anything they say. You can't trust anything they say.
Yeah, do your research. I think that's the most important thing.
Do your research.
Even the stuff that we're talking about, if you believe it or not, you shouldn't. You shouldn't.
And you should research, and you should, and you can, and then you can. I'll stand behind my word. And if I said something today, I'll tell you if I regret what I said. But I'm standing behind my word of what I've said. and I'll answer you and let's talk, because the only way we get to truth is getting more information that's based on empirical data from ideally someone that you trust that doesn't lie, but most everybody lies. So you're probably going to have to go check it out yourself, or you determine, well, I've known Paul for over 10 years. He is an incredible musician. We have a lot of experiences in common, and from where we've lived and done and seen a lot of things. But
that we've seen.
him in a certain area, but we both are bilingual in Colombia, and we have family that's from this culture. So we look at things in a really interesting way. And so I'm going to tend to trust a lot of things he says because of my context with him. But I can also question things, and he can question mine and go and research on his own. Because I told Paul about Michael Levaughn already a year ago, but he wasn't ready for it. And that's okay. And that's what happened to me. Like, I had someone throw me something and I'm like, I can't deal with that. Like, I couldn't deal with the hormone, the food stuff, because I was all into the masks being wrong. And then when I came to my attention that these chemicals are affecting my children and their growth, I was like, I can't deal with that right now.
Right.
And I just let myself go and focus on what was important to me at that time, which was getting masks off children, which is still very important to me. Right? But like, I give myself, you can't do everything, but you can do one little thing. And I tell you, you feel better going to bed at night. And that's all that matters, is that you've made an effort to help someone else through this. Because Ezekiel 33:8 is a really important chapter to read. And it's a Watchman chapter that basically says, if you believe in God, if you believe in truth, right? And you see righteousness, and you see someone doing something wrong, and you don't tell them that they're doing something wrong, then you are equally guilty as they are of that sin, and you'll be punished for it. And so I take that seriously. And that, for me, it's children. Like, the most important thing is children.
Well, I mean, I don't know. For me to think about, like, believing that children were getting tortured, children were used for sex, all this stuff, trafficking and stuff. Now that it's really coming out, like, viciously, like,
is it coming out everywhere?
I mean, well,
yeah, because I haven't been following.
I mean, at least in the information that I've learned about Diddy, that basically it's like the
Sean
fountain has been
Combs,
opened, and now it's like with him, and then obviously there's like a huge trend behind that, all these people that were part of this thing. And I mean, 2 years ago, I could honestly tell you, like, I don't believe it. I know. I would not be able to believe that people would take kids for anything. Like, just having, if they're not your kids and you're around kids, that's already weird. Yeah. But, you know, that's like,
not already. It's already weird. We don't need any. We don't need any quotes.
But now this is another level of, like.
This is the point.
You know, the subject with
we
kids,
have to
which are, I don't know, sex trafficking and all this stuff like that. That I can't even imagine what that looks like, what that world looks like, you know. But and then starting with this is like there's so many things around it.
Did you see that video? Yeah, how sad that looked. That's so sad.
Like, all right, for example, like he comes in all like excited to sing, and he was a little kid with a little guitar banging it, and he's singing his heart away, and all of a sudden these people come and they call it, they groomed him. You know, so when you come in, you gotta get groomed.
I gotta say something here that it's a big one.
All right, so many stories.
Listen, so they're saying maybe
Justin Bieber's just a type of that.
Might be a girl.
Well, I've seen pictures too of that. He might have been a girl. And if he was a girl, then maybe.
But even sadder. I mean, it's not even sadder. It's awful. It's awful.
The whole thing is
it's awful in every way.
It's negative.
So
it's
sad.
Not. It's not natural. And that's what we're dealing with.
And it makes me sad because I like that song, Holy.
Holy.
And which I'd like to mention, Salt.
Salt. Yes, please mention salt.
Okay, so I love my salt. I have my four-step.
We'll get back to
longevity.
the Diddy thing in a little bit.
But it has to do with the song Holy from Justin Bieber.
Yeah.
So, salt, salvation, salary, saliva, salud in Espanol, soldado, soldier, right? Salt has all these incredible meanings in many old words and words across the realm in different languages. But I recently learned, as I was reading on the plane, about the I've talked about halogen and halos, and that's also having to do with salt.
Right.
And that word halo into German evidently turned into like Heil, and that's health. And we're going, it's all having to do with this idea of salt, right?
Right.
I think. And then, so then I was thinking, wow, so hallowed be thy name, right? Hallowed be thy name. And that's, salt, like, may you be salted. May you have the salt you need, right? Maybe. And then maybe that is the evolution of the word holy.
Holy.
Maybe.
Interesting.
Thanks.
That is very interesting.
And I really like that song by Justin Bieber. That holy. Do you know it?
Do you? I have heard. Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty.
Yeah. What do you think? I mean, like, all right. So basically, I'm just in a nutshell. Like, the whole music industry is being exposed. That there's a lot of people from the top, from producers, all these people that, if you see them, they got really famous really quick out of nowhere. Some of these people, right?
They're nasty.
And
No talent.
And what goes on is that supposedly there's these parties that they go to, and it's all supposed to be after midnight, right? And you go to these like castle-like houses, and then you get invited. And if you're cool enough, you get invited. And then you go to like the first hours, it's like 10 o'clock. People start coming in at 9 p.m. Right? This is all real. I'm not making this up.
I know.
And
Paul knows. Paul's had quite a career.
Yeah,
and has a career.
And I've been approached too, like here and there, like by people that are like, "Hey, you want to come to this private party?" And it's always at night, whatever, with the coolest people, right? Supposedly, and this is where all these people get groomed, like Justin Bieber, or like people or new artists that are coming in now.
How sad.
Which
and a child.
And they
And why do they have to be so young?
But check this out.
Why can't older musicians come in and because you'd be too smart for us?
No, exactly.
You'd see it,
no,
right?
And
you're not so desperate.
Exactly.
You've already been through hell. Yeah.
Right. And basically, so they go to these parties and they get invited, and then they're like, and literally, you get to these parties, they're all like, they all start kind of like normal at first. You have like here and there, you just get some hors d'oeuvres. People are like sitting in the lobby, or they're all talking to each other.
Yeah.
And then at 11 o'clock, something like by 11:30, they go into another room, right?
Like in another space.
And now this
like
room
it
is
can
all
be another
blue.
salon.
It's just blue.
Oh,
everything
blue.
is
Interesting.
blue. The ground is blue. The wall.
Interesting. Blue. We just
everything
talked
is
about
blue, right? And now they start giving you like champagnes and drinks, whatever.
Yeah.
So now they start giving you like loose, a little bit.
Now, how many people are usually at this party?
These are like between,
or at that
they
stage.
could be bigger, but at that part it's huge. They could be
so
like 50 people,
11:30,
a lot
50.
of 100 people,
50,
maybe 20, whatever. But it's like
There's still
it feels normal. It feels like you when you go to like somebody's house or a party, and there's a party and people talk,
Right.
like, oh, like, hey, what's your, what do you mean?
Right.
But then they go into this blue room. Now it's like, now there's different rules. So now you gotta like drink this, and you gotta like, whatever.
No, I don't know. That sounds terrible.
Okay, no, well, I don't know. I don't know either.
for-
But basically, they start. It's more loose. So now there's times where like they actually start to the point where they start looking at you, and they're all wearing masks, by the way.
Well, this is a big detail.
So no, you can't be. Yeah.
But wait. This is after.
Some
Okay,
sort
so
of mask or
you're
halfway.
in the 11:30 party in the blue room.
Right.
And when does that move? How does that change?
Just basically they have
hand
like
out
a
masks?
little guy that's like a host. They're saying, okay, now everybody has to go into the next room.
Really?
Literally saying.
Oh, really?
But it's a whole ritual.
Interesting.
And people don't realize that they're coming into a ritual where the people who invited you, they already have this plan.
This
they already
is
know who's
gross.
coming. They have, and supposedly they have cameras everywhere.
Gross.
Because this is, I'm making it really quick. Of the whole thing is that basically how it works is that they get you to come to these parties. They get you all fucked up. Now it's 12 o'clock. Now they go into a red room.
Oh.
Now the red room is less people. There's not that many people because most of the people are like, they open the door. It's like me like opening that door right now, and you look and you're like, and there's like some two dudes making out.
Ooh.
And you're like, oh wait, what's going on? I didn't even know that.
Yeah, right.
So
You're like in shock.
And you're kind of in shock.
Yeah.
But people are going in, and you're like,
ooh,
okay, but you're kind of like,
what's that?
I don't know.
And you're kind of fucked up with
I thought this
whatever
party was
drugs
this.
or whatever. Yeah.
And so then someone will leave, and some are like, you know what? I think I'm good. And then, like Denzel Washington, supposedly he got invited to his parties, but then the later you go into other room, and you see and they open the room. They're not like, here, come in, I'll show you. No, they're like, they have to show you, like you said, always they're honest about everything.
Yeah.
They have to show you.
We have to have eyes to see and
exactly,
right.
But they don't open it up all the way.
Yeah.
You know? But there's always little stuff already going on in these rooms. It's already 12 o'clock a.m., right? So they go in, and it's this room now, it's all red, and everybody's like now drinking a little heavier, like, I don't know, like cognac or alcohol, whatever. And now, now everyone's making out.
Are there new people?
There's new people.
So these are also maybe actors or parts.
Exactly. These are all actors in the industry that are like, they all get invited. You know,
but there's people, the ones that are doing the activities early on. Are these people that were already in the party and you've seen the evolution of them, like ripping off their clothes and doing all that?
Right.
Oh,
exactly.
Oh, so you are part of. You're on this
exactly.
ride.
So you're like.
So it's not like a show. It's like.
No.
We were part of this party. You're with us.
Exactly.
You're gonna join me on this side. You're gonna join me on that one.
Exactly.
Interesting. Ooh.
And if you got a lot of like followers
awful.
now, and now they're going after TikTokers and they're going after all the social media influencers. Because why would you go need like now famous actors and all this stuff? That industry is kind of dying down anyway. The new famed people is like the like social media influencers, YouTubers and stuff like that.
Interesting.
So now these people are getting invited because why? Because you have to have a lot of followers to get into this industry. Why? Because we need your followers, right? We need to like bring them to this.
Right. And
so all these people get invited all the time
because they want them to start giving out the messages like we talked about earlier.
Exactly.
Just,
exactly.
You've sold your soul to the devil.
And which is, I never understood like what that means. Because you're like, all right, who's the devil? Like, what? Show me something, whatever.
Have you seen the interview with what's his name? Who sold his soul to the devil? Sorry, the musician who won the Nobel Prize with that horrible voice from the 70s.
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Dylan.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so go on. Yeah.
He talked about it.
He talks about it. And so this guy made a song
about
it. He made a song about it. And he imitates it. And it's called "I Sold My Soul to the Devil."
Right.
Yeah.
Right, and all these people, and I always thought that was like, oh, it's a funny thing.
No, or it's just like a phrase, or it's a phrase.
Even Jared Garcia had to write a song about the devil because they might have done.
Friend of the devil is a friend of mine. Damn it, that pissed me off, and I used to sing that all the time.
I know, and
I'm so bummed.
I know, and I love Barry,
and what about Bob Marley? I'm sorry, but Zion. That song, right? Anyway, I was
Zion.
Yeah, and I was like. No, his song about we're coming to Zion. Those are the guys running the show right now. It's Zionists.
Okay.
So like it seems to me like it was maybe some kind of a.
Or maybe he was singing against it.
No, I thought maybe, but I don't think so. But we can.
Well, yeah, I would have to check.
You're probably right. I hope so because I love. But I mean, I think that a lot of these guys, like, what happened to what's his name, the Kardashian.
They're going down too.
No, the black guy, the husband. Kanye West. Okay, West. So beginning of the pandemic, right? He's out there. He's doing his little. Now I know pretty much satanic church events that I thought were cool at first, but now I'm like, whoa. And then he was calling out things, but it makes sense what you were saying earlier about the MK Ultra, where they can pull them in, and then the people get out and they pull them in, like Britney Spears, like they have these like. Moments out and then moments in. Maybe it makes sense.
I believe that like they go through these parties and like not just even parties, just events. They could be like in a room. I could be in a room right with you right now.
Yeah.
It's now you're in the industry, right? Like let's say I went to one of those parties. I didn't go too deep, but I went deep enough. What they do is like they'll videotape it, right? Uh-huh. So for example, you say, you know what? I'm gonna go in that room. I'm gonna go in that room. I want to see what the hell's going on because it interests you. Nobody said anything to you. Nobody said here. Come
right.
That's
the free will. That's the whole free will thing.
And while
you made
going
a decision,
exactly.
You were exposed and you made a decision.
Wow,
that's good.
While you're going into these rooms, don't forget these rooms have already been there before you came. So you know how you can do spells in a room and like if people come in and like all this energy and you don't even know it, right?
Right.
So you're walking into this room where like all this stuff has been going on for I don't know how long. So these energies are there.
Yeah,
they're ready to like
pull
vampires.
You in.
And if you're that type of person that you're kind of like, I am a little freaky. Like I'm good. I love the church, whatever. I come from a good family, but I want to go in that room, see what happens.
That's nasty.
And this
Sorry.
is what happens.
That's
You would wonder,
nasty.
well, so how do they end up doing these things? And
Because
now,
it's that little moment that you're not so sure about yourself. Right? You
but
don't
at
know
the same
yourself.
time, they have to have you to drink a mix of the punch.
Really?
Unique. Exactly.
Really?
So now it's getting later, right? So now you've already drinking champagne. You maybe had Jack.
You've had what you like.
You're
done.
loose.
Right,
You're
open.
loose. It's 12:00 midnight. You're on point.
Yeah.
You're talking to everybody.
You're feeling good.
We've been through it. I've been to parties where like you see these people and you're like, dude, these people are heavy. And then it gets like 3 a.m. and it's 4, and they're still up at 5 a.m.
Yeah, that's why
with the like heavy.
Yeah. Oh no.
But like I'm talking about like people that are like sort of lost
And
and like
and have a lot of time on their hands.
Exactly.
They don't have to get up in the morning.
So for example, let's say you go into that room, you go in, and I say to you, hey, Victoria, like I don't recommend you go into that room. I'm gonna go home though, because it's already like 2 a.m. and I'm good. Like people now want to go in that room, and the party's over here is done, and I gotta go. Like if I want to stay, I gotta go in that room. That's how it is, right? So you're like, no, Paul, go ahead. I'm good. I have my friend already in there. Like, you go in. Now you got to take the punch. Right? Because this is like.
And this is in the fairy tales, right?
This is not a fairy. This is
no, but I'm saying
like,
this is
it's crazy.
But
it's crazy that it's real.
But in our fairy tales, right? Alice in Wonderland, I don't know details, but like in Alice in Wonderland or in these different fairy tales and Sleeping Beauty, drink the punch, But
which it's always the thing.
Wow.
Like,
okay.
Why do we drink? To get like loose and
to get the spirit
and to
in.
have sex and like that's what happens when you at least when I used to like party and drink and like go out and it's true, but like once so anyway, so you go into that room, you take the punch, and all of a sudden now it's laced with MDMA. It's laced with what's that all these drugs.
All those drugs, Special K,
and God knows
X,
what else
whatever the hell
that we don't even know about.
Oh.
And so now you take this drug, you now are like, I'll do whatever you want.
Wow.
Like, I'm so lost. Like now it's like have you ever seen people on drugs?
Yes.
Like they lost it.
Yeah.
And you're like, whoa. Like they shouldn't take coke.
Yeah.
Those people
Yeah. When people freak out.
Ecstasy, because they'll take their clothes off and they don't even know it.
Wow.
They don't even
No,
know.
I don't think
some
I've seen
people.
that.
I haven't. I'm not.
No,
I've
but
never had.
Paul has been in New York City.
Yeah, I grew up
Boca City,
Tunnel,
Cartagena.
Limelight, all those clubs.
I was at the Limelight here and there.
Yeah.
In the 90s.
Yeah, and it's like heavy stuff that I saw that thank God I didn't get into it because I was just sort of like blessed, but God was protecting me. My angels were protecting. I didn't even know it.
Totally blessed.
But I saw things too, and it was like rooms like that where you're like, you walk by, I'm gonna go to the bathroom.
No,
the door's
way.
open, and you see like a guy like having sex with a dog.
No.
I didn't want to say this yet because I'm talking about just sex with people and stuff. I haven't even got like.
No.
I'm not even gonna get too much into it because it's gross. But then the room. Then at 3 a.m. there's like the ultimate room, right?
Oh,
you're so fucked up.
No.
Half of these people, they don't even know what they're doing.
No.
It's like imagining you take 4 cupfuls of ecstasy, you drink.
Yeah, they don't even know what they're.
They
don't even know what they're laying next to. They don't even know.
Your rocks. The next day, you're like, dude, what happened?
No.
You don't even remember, right? Well, this is what happened. That's exactly what they wanted.
That is awful.
So they film it.
And it's for one decision.
What you do.
Had
sex
and it's
with
there
kids.
forever.
There was little kids there.
And
they were like doing this. There's dogs. I'm not talking about just people. There's people with dogs.
No.
And obviously guys getting pumped in the back and stuff, and they don't even know it. So they wake up the next day.
That's crazy.
Right. So check this part. I'm gonna finish it because I don't want to extend it. But so they do this the next day. Whatever. Everybody goes home. Whatever. And all of a sudden they're like, "Hey man, how'd you like the party?" They're like, "Yeah man, it was cool. I got really fucked up." And yeah man, you did this. Check this out. And they show you on video.
Holy
what you
shit.
did at the party because they have cameras everywhere from when you entered, you left the limo into the house until you left. So they have everything documented. So now what do they have? Blackmail on you. So now all these powerful people, like John Travolta, whatever, all these people
yeah,
that
yeah,
now
yeah,
have
yeah.
all this fame, and
Yeah.
you're like, wow, how did they get so much fame? Like, it's like, I mean, they're good, but
Because
like,
they're high.
how do we
they're
give
doing
this so much
everything
money
they
to these
can.
people
Yeah.
that we glorify them like gods, right?
Well, they're saying
Because
that
that's what they want.
Well, they're saying that De Niro right now. I don't know if you followed this at all, but Robert De Niro has been hanging out with Biden a lot.
Okay.
Okay, the act. I
Right.
believe he's an actor. I don't believe that that's really Joe Biden. I believe that's an actor with a mask on.
It's
Um,
so,
And
that's another whole different
that's all.
topic.
But
Oh
but
my
anyway,
God.
so
Poor guy.
so Robert De Niro's there, like trying to panic the world that if Trump wins, blah blah blah. But you can feel the panic is because there's some videos they're going to be coming out about Robert De Niro. Like,
oh, no.
you know what I mean? Like, it's,
And that
the
breaks
thing.
my heart because I mean,
Oh, you like
Robert
him?
De Niro and
He's
Al
gross.
Pacino, like to me,
He
I
is
just always see
so-
them in the
He's
mob
so,
movies.
but no, you haven't because
So my
they're like- and
image
all-
is so different now. It's like, oh, I didn't want to know
no,
what's coming.
so many musicians, Paul. I mean, we're talking
I
about
don't
music.
know what's coming.
These musicians that we love.
I know.
I mean, I've told this
well-
story before to my screen, how my daughters will be in the car, and I don't know if you know, but in the United States right now, and it's also in France,
Yeah.
okay, because I go through radio stations wherever I am, because I don't have a phone. I like try to live in what's being fed to us and kind of observe it. What's going on? Hardcore 80s music in Spanish, in Colombia here, in France, and in the United States. All the radio stations are programmed to that. Like you can see exactly the boxes they're trying to put us. It has to do with the megahertz, all that stuff.
Right,
So anyway, so I'm like, oh, cool. Like this last time back in the U.S. with when I first got there in December, and upstate New York to Florida, same exact radio station concepts. We noticed it with the Christmas music.
Right.
It was limited lists without the words that talked about really Jesus Christ, Iesu's birth. It was like Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer, right?
Right.
All this.
Yeah. Well,
all
that's
this
another
shit.
topic that's now.
All this shit selling, all this Santa
Yeah.
Claus fucking Satan shit. That Satan Claus. They're so evil.
Yeah.
So my daughter is listening to music and she goes, Mom, how can you like that song? Like Pat Benatar
So
comes
this
on.
story is the reason.
And I'm like, yeah, Pat Benatar. Okay, love is a battlefield. Everything's pain. It's all rough. It's tough. It's drama, right? The presentation of love. And my parents are divorced, and so it wasn't great anyway, what I saw. But I loved music, like all of us did, because it's the music before the words, at least I think
Well,
for most of us.
music casts spells. That's
It
why
casts
it's
spells.
so powerful.
So then they give these mantras to a girl and to a boy to think, I got to think about, how about Hot for Teacher? How's that for a song? Hot for Teacher. How about the song Don't Stand So Close to Me? How about both of those being pedophile
Wow.
anthems?
I didn't know that.
I just come to
Yeah.
that because I have young children and I listen to the words with them. And they'll be like, Mom, why do you like this stupid song saying bounce on me all night? Okay. Like or the Michael Jackson songs that we didn't even know what the words meant. Okay. We couldn't even understand them. Like, because that's the idea, right? Is to make us, is to hypnotize us, MK Ultra us through first what this great master, but in the light of truth and God, the good God,
Thank you for your
works,
Also,
is that music. Is that
Victoria
music.
as well.
And that music is,
Also, you should like spreading this.
that's how we can spread it,
information.
right? So we can spread our vibrations and not in a woo-woo way. I've spoken
Yeah,
about,
no,
I
Do
speak
your
about
own research
chemistry.
first.
And look at German medicine, look at Tom Cowan's new biology course that I've mentioned, that I took, but it's basically about common sense, you guys. It's nothing wacko, woo-woo, and it just makes sense based on all of our lives experience. I think most people who watch the channel are around my age group or older and maybe younger, but the idea being, look at what is going into our ears and eyes and in the musical context, and you're going to start noticing patterns. And discernment comes from pattern recognition, right? Pattern, we know it in music, like we have to see certain patterns. People treat you a certain way several times, and anybody else you tell it to would be like, you're insane.
Yeah.
Then you need to learn that, like, oh, wow, I've had a blind spot. I didn't realize that this behavior was bad. But this person who loves me, and this person too, and that person too, is telling me that is wrong. But they have us trained not to talk about our problems and to think that everybody's life is perfect and that everyone's relationship is perfect or everything's doing great raising their kids and nobody's challenged by all the fucking shit happening right now and all this world falling apart and every job we ever had in our lives somehow being connected to this shit, or every product we have in here is somehow connected to evil, right? Like the iPhones, Apple, you guys know who makes this equipment? Little children in factories in China to this day make this equipment that people love. Apple. And what does that apple symbolize? The bite out of it? Symbolically, ball.
It's right in your face.
BAAL, ball, symbolically, satanically. They're showing us symbolism. This is what they do. Is Eve, they believe that Eve, when she ate the apple, and it's not an apple, Bible doesn't say that, but I'm going through my translations, it says a red fruit could be a pomegranate, right?
Right.
When she takes a bite of that fruit, that she was supposedly being inseminated by the serpent, by Satan, and that her first son, Cain, was the son of Satan, and Abel was the son of Adam, and that they were twins. And Cain came out first. And then Cain killed Abel, right? And Cain killed Abel because God is not a vegetarian. So I don't know if you know that, but like the reason that Cain killed Abel was that, but correct me anybody, but my understanding is, so God asked for an offering from the two boys, right? And Cain came with the most beautiful, wonderful crops he had. Like he had crops of food, yeah. And so he came and gave God a beautiful selection of that, and God rejected it. And Abel came with the most beautiful fatted lamb that he had raised, and blah blah blah, and obviously, and God received this beautiful lamb, and then Cain killed Abel. And then God came back and said to Cain, "Hey, where's Abel?" And you can go on and read yourself.
Wow.
So anyway, this is the line of Cain. They believe the bad guys, the New World Order, the reptilians, whatever you want to call them. The Jesuits, the Zionists, right?
Do you think the reptilians
The Illuminati, the Masons,
exist?
the Jesuits. Excuse me?
The reptilians actually do exist?
I don't know.
Through people?
I don't know, but I have had a couple of experiences in these last 4 years with two people in my life. A woman, one that I don't know if she's a woman. I have that question. There's something about the frame of the body and her ability to talk with me for a long time and be so analytical and not be at all girl-like is incredible. And a very the eyes,
right?
Like turning when I tried to speak to her about truth during these years about things that she could impact that would help save children. The eyes like glazed into this like gray blue thing.
Right. Well, Carol, my girlfriend, said that she went
blue
to
bloods. They say blue blood, right?
Blue
For that
blood.
reason.
Right. That she was at in downtown Bogota at the Diem.
Yeah. Right by the bar.
Right by the bar, right near you. Actually, yeah, exactly. And she said that she was waiting in line one morning. It was like 8 a.m, and this random guy was just sort of next to her, and they ended up talking about something. And he asked her, "Do you know if something about this line, whatever, how long it takes?" And she said, "Yeah, no, it takes a little bit. It shouldn't take too long." And she said that as soon as she looked at him, like she found him really interesting, like the face. She was just like, this guy's like really
there's something
interesting.
There's something, and it might be a mask. You might have had a mask on.
Yeah, she was just like, but she said that her first thing was that she felt was like, this guy's really interesting.
There's something.
Like, there's something, and so she kept asking him, like, well, something. He kept asking her about the time or something, and she said,
and he was Colombian.
And he was, he said,
maybe
she
foreign?
said that he was like Italian.
Okay, interesting.
And he didn't know like something about what was going on, whatever. He just asked, whatever.
Yeah.
And then he was just talking to her, and she asked him a couple like personal stuff. They ended up getting along, and he's like, oh, they exchanged numbers. He's like, yeah, I'll give you my number, whatever. And And then she said that in the middle of a conversation, he was talking, and she said that his eyes closed this way, like
Whoa!
inside his eyes,
Whoa!
like just
whoa!
like normal
Just
eyes,
like
but just went, and that's it.
Whoa!
And she was just like,
Whoa!
and I asked her, I'm like,
Whoa!
will you drink? Like, will you
No,
drink
right.
in the morning?
No,
it was like
she-
9 in the morning.
No, and she's
She
a
doesn't-
professional, and she's also
drink, you know,
she's a
not like
psychologist, right?
a party girl.
No, and she
like
talks to people all
that.
day long, and
Exactly. Well,
she
that's
looks,
why she
and
was
she
like,
looks people in the
exactly. That's why
and she was interested.
anybody who she finds interesting, she's like, I want to learn about this guy,
Yeah.
like while he talks or she talks, you know. And
Yeah.
that's what they do, you know. They screen people out. So of course this guy stood out more a little bit. And she said that his eyes closed, and she was like, and she said that as soon as she kind of like
Noticed
had a
it?
face that she noticed, he's like, hey, I gotta go. I'll see you, you know, when I go.
Whoa!
And she said that she tried to call the number, and the number never even existed. It was like a wrong number. It was like a totally off number. And I said, well, did you hallucinate? Maybe did you take
Yeah,
shrooms that night
right.
or something? Like,
What is it?
Be honest.
Right.
You know, is this
Right,
for
right,
real?
right,
Like,
right, right.
She's like,
right.
no,
Gotta
I don't know
question
anything
everything.
about. And she's not like a.
She's
you know,
not, I
She's
know
not
her.
into
Yeah.
conspiracy
No,
theories
I
and
know,
stuff.
yeah.
She's just
She's
was
observing.
experiencing this for the first time and
Wow.
never even looked in it, or I don't think she even knew or heard about like reptilian people and like that. Especially 12 years ago, maybe 15 years ago when this happened. But so anyways, I was like, wow. And she said, yeah, his eyes inside they went and they closed out again, and that's when he was like, yeah, I gotta go because he kind of
Well, that's okay. So that's
he knew that she was onto him. So, and that's the first time I've heard from someone that I know that
Yeah.
I've seen that, because I have heard that.
Well,
I'm how does that make sense?
Yeah. So I don't know because I recognize I was
Shapeshifters, you know.
What? Tell me what you.
Well, that the reptilians basically are like shapeshifters, because if you see like the salamanders and stuff, the salamanders turn colors, right? Like if they're
Yeah,
like
and it's in the
rot, now
Bible.
they turn
In
into
the
like
Bible,
that
like
color.
alien stuff.
Octopuses
It
and stuff like
alien
that. So
stuff.
you're like, I mean, it's definitely real when you see it. How they can turn into like another phase, or like leave this phase and now be like, okay, now I'm a reptilian iguana. Like now this is my real thing with like my lizard long tongue coming out and my eyes are closing like this. I mean, yeah, that makes sense. But how do you prove? Like, how does that work? Is what I mean. But that's what I've learned, is that these people exist. Like, they can talk to you telepathically, so they don't have to say anything to you. They can just send you a thought, and you're like, oh, dude, I know what you just said it to me in my mind. That's how they kind of communicate. I don't know, but that's what I learned. That's sort of what I learned
Interesting.
about what a shapeshifter is.
Okay. All right.
Hey, I can be Paul, and now all of a sudden you leave, and now I'm back into my reptilian sort of look. I don't know.
Well, I had something happen to me very strange at the airport, and this person, I realize now because I've talked about it with Ludi's, I think had a mask on.
Who?
This person who approached me
Uh-huh.
as I was
you told me
getting on the
this,
plane.
right?
Okay, right. So then we get to the
What
immigration
airport?
line, Bogota. Well, I'm the last person, like maybe one person behind me. Like the really nice person at the gate went and got my coffee at Starbucks because I almost missed the plane. And I came up and I said, I'm gonna miss my. And he goes, I'll go get your coffee. And I drank coffee that day, like because I'd been on the plane. I don't like to drink coffee. And this sweetheart of a guy brought it for me. And then as I'm standing there, this guy comes out of nowhere. I mean, it somehow came up. But he was immediately like latched on to talking to me. Fast forward, we're going through the line in the end. A couple other weird things happen.
Yeah.
And as I look up, he had been behind me. And I tried to ignore his energy because I saw him trying to look at my computer, right? And I walked like 4 steps. I had 4 lines in front of me before getting to the Border Patrol or customs agent. And he was up there. He had been behind me. You guys, I don't know how recently you've been in line at airports when people are fucking no.
And it was fast.
It was like I had my computer and we're crossing each other. And it's so weird because I got off the plane last again and I went really slow and I tried to be really far back. I was like taking my time.
Well,
and this guy is like around me and then he's behind me and then he's in front of me. But in front of me like that. And the boots were like a big giveaway for me because he had this weird personality that was like trying to act like quirky Southern, but I didn't believe it. And he had on these fine, like the finest chino beige pants, like you would like a beige chino guy pant that's very cool looking, and he was tall with beautiful like Argentinian leather boots. They only come to here, which is an unusual boot. You know what I'm talking like to here. Right. But it's a cowboy boot, but it's a soft leather. It's like this is like someone very with a lot of money and good taste. Okay, like this is like a cool kid. Okay. Something it's like, and I noticed it when he first started talking to me like casually. That he was just coming to Colombia for his last trip. I'm like, what are you going to Bogota for? And he's like, no, I have friends there. Anyway, that was crazy. I swear I held my computer and I went like 8 steps. Clearly he could have, talked to somebody and jumped up there, but it would be complicated and that would have taken longer. So even if he just talked to someone and got up there, or people worked with him, because Paul, people do not let you jump the line. It's like, it's the pain in the ass entering the country line, and you've been on a plane.
Okay, so he was behind you.
He was behind me.
In a line where you can't get up front. And
so we're on this zigzag lines.
You kind of look down and then you look up.
So I have this computer in my arms, right, and I can feel him trying to see it, and I can even feel the people behind me feeling that this guy was trying to look at my computer. It was like that. While I was looking at it, and I'm walking that way, and he's walking this way, but he's almost like stepping backwards to try to look at my computer to see like my email name or something. And he's kind of chatted with me, but I just started feeling weird about it.
What?
And then I closed it, but I was like nice. I was trying not to be so obvious, but I was like, okay, this is enough. And I'm going to ignore him. And I went forward and I just kept my energy tight, like 5 steps. And in front of us, again, were 3 or 4 lines until the customs agent. And I look up and turn around, and there were those chino pants and boots, and that guy checking out. And I was like, it was crazy.
Did you feel he was following you?
Yes.
Did you see him other times before that, like that day?
Yes.
Days before or something like that? Or
no.
Okay.
But he had this weird thing on his forehead, like this is why I know it's a mask now. Like just talking about masks now, I know it's a mask. What time is it?
12:36.
Oh, I gotta go.
Okay.
Check out the kids. Okay.
Wow.
Goodbye.
So, hey, watch if anybody's following.
Hey. No one's there.
No, but I have seen YouTube videos where a lot of these people who explore like conspiracy theories and stuff like